What I'll also tell you is that Agent Mulder has developed a consuming devotion to an unassigned project outside the Bureau mainstream. Are you familiar with the so-called X-Files?
Welcome everybody to the Dark Talk Files, episode 22, Born Again. I am your host Dan, and I'm joined by my FBI pal, my bro, Paul. How's it going, Paul?
Hello Dan, I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Very well, thank you. We're going to be flying even blinder this episode than we were last episode because, like I mentioned, I lost my notes, and it's been a legitimate 10 days since we recorded, which means it's been about nearly 2 weeks since I've seen this episode, so I'm doing it all from Wikipedia and memory because I didn't want to watch this one again.
Well, I only watched it last night, so my memory of it is pretty good. Although the last 4 minutes, I fell asleep around 12 times while watching. I've had a busy work week, so, you know, but I was lying in bed and I was just like, and then every time my eyes closed, right, I was dreaming about skateboarding, and then I would just ping back to life at the exact same spot. And I kept on having to like rewind it 10 seconds and rewatch it. And then by the end of that 10 seconds, I was asleep again. So
and then,
the ending's slightly hazy. But, yeah.
And then when you went into your, probably when you went to sleep, you were trapped in this endless loop of the last 10 seconds of that X-Files episode. It's just like The Endless.
It was. The Endless, yeah. That's a cool film. We need to cover
that. Is such a good film. I'd well be up for covering that. And it's the first one, which is it Resolution? Yeah. Is it Resolution? So we open up in Buffalo, New York, and we meet police detective Sharon Lazard, who finds a little girl, Michelle.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, it's Sharon Lazard. Fucking Maggie Wheeler.
Yeah. You know, it's mad because I only really know her from Friends. She was in Seinfeld as well, but if I remember correctly. But I didn't really know her from Friends, and she was that obviously that annoying character, and she wasn't like hot or anything. But when she's like being herself, she's pretty lady.
I've always thought she's absolutely stunning, and even in Friends, you know, they dress her up as like really, you know, leopard print and over the top in Friends, like that, like a Soprano's wife. But like I've always thought she's absolutely this beautiful woman.
Yeah.
She would have made a very good. She would have made a very good Aunt May if Marissa Tomei didn't take the role.
Yeah. Stick on a Brooklyn accent and that. And
So I found out a couple of days ago that Marissa Tomei and Robert Downey Jr. were actually in a romantic comedy film together, and I can't remember what it's called. But then I was like, oh, that's why Iron Man is constantly hitting on Aunt May in those Spider-Man films.
I did not know that.
There you go, bit of trivia for you.
I don't really like romantic comedies, so I'll probably skip it. But,
yeah, you don't have to watch it.
Oh, I thought that's what you meant. Sorry.
Yeah, so Detective Lazard takes this little girl into the police station and leaves her to be interviewed with a male detective, Rudy Barbala. However, moments later, Barbala is launched through the window and falls to his death, and when Maggie Wheeler runs in, the little girl is the only person in the room, and she is convinced that this little girl threw this cop out the window.
I mean, what other explanation would you have for that? Like, he's sound 1 minute, the next minute he's flying through a window to his death, and this little girl's just there like... Yeah. What else would you say?
I have no idea. Yeah, that's why they call him Mulder and Scully, to explain this unexplainable event. So yeah, Mulder and Scully arrive, and Michelle says that a man attacked Detective Barbala, even though she was the only person in the room, and she describes the attacker, and they come up with this facial composite of this dude, and it just looks fucking so stupid. Has he got a moustache? Have I got that right?
They started off, and again, love this 90s technology. Yeah. It's so bad, but so good. And then she says, the guy asks her if he has a beard or a moustache, and she says a moustache. And Mulder says, have you got a funny one? So he puts on a big French moustache and all that, and the girl's laughing. And then the computer glitches out, and it shows him with his proper moustache. His hair a little bit lighter, but his hair wasn't light, really. His hair was dark. Have you ever seen the actor Chris Evans with a moustache and like a flat top, like a cop look? It looked exactly like him. pissing myself watching this. I was like, yeah.
So Mulder goes to speak to Michelle's psychiatrist, who is Dr. Brown, or Dr. Braun, who tells him that she habitually mutilated dolls in a uniform manner during their sessions together. So she would take out the same eye and same arm of each doll. And, like, Mulder basically says, like, oh, yeah, have you seen any supernatural phenomenon around it? And she's like, excuse me. And he's like, any telekinesis, any psychic powers? And she's like, what? And he's just, like, earnestly trying to say that this girl might be a psychic telekinetic. And she's like, get out.
She shuts that shit down straight away. She's like, oh, for fuck's sake. This guy's FBI. Get out.
Right, one thing I did notice that I need to bring up to you in this, right? I want you to go back and watch it. You can do it now if you want, or you can do it after, right? So do you remember the episode where Scully had been kidnapped and the kidnapper phones up Mulder and says bye-bye, and then the car horn goes bye-bye and says bye-bye back, yeah? Bye-bye. Was that Young at Heart or it was Lazarus? It was one of those two. I think it was Lazarus.
Lazarus, yeah.
So I noticed that same car horn in the scene before he meets the psychiatrist now. It's the exact same sound, and I was like, you know, the Leo DiCaprio meme pointed to the screen. I was doing that. I was like, oh, it's the same sound. And I think it possibly was in Tombs as well, but I can't be certain of that one. So yeah, go back and listen to it.
Oh, fuck.
Fucking hell, that's how stretched I was for something to like in this episode. Like, oh god, this is boring as hell.
You know what that means now, don't you?
What?
It means that we're going to have to listen out for this car horn in every episode.
Oh, I know.
Do you know what that's going to be? Horn Club.
Horn Club. So the agents go to interview Tony Fiore, who is Morris's ex-partner, so we haven't explained who Morris is, actually. So Morris is this cop that also died a couple of months prior to this. He'd had his arm chopped off and his eye gouged out, which is the same as the dolls. Have I got that right?
It wasn't a couple of months. It was nearly 9 years.
Oh, is it? Oh, yeah. Yeah, of course it is. Yeah. So,
it lined up perfectly with the birth of somebody in this episode.
Well,
let's just say that for a moment.
So it's Michelle. Let's just say that. Because I can't imagine anyone's listening to this. Well, I can't imagine anyone's listening to this, but I can't imagine anyone's listening to this and having not seen the episode. So they go to interview Morris's ex-partner, Detective Fiore. He says that Morris was killed by a gang of triads that they've been investigating. So Fiore is this sort of sleazy, scummy officer, and every time his wife comes out to see what's going on, he's like, "Hey, babe, nothing. Just go back in and carry on. Go back to sleep." Or Scully's like, "Hey, Mulder, did you see her hands? She wasn't asleep. She's been baking bread." He's lying.
Before you carry on, when Mulder goes to meet the psychiatrist,
I
think Scully goes to meet the mother of the girl.
Oh, yeah.
Who explains that she hates swimming. And there is a reason for that. He hates water, and we'll get to it later. But that's one of the things she says. She also says that this girl's disturbed. She's not been right since she was born. Basically, we need to talk about Kevin kind of character, you know?
Yeah.
She's weird as fuck, and bad shit might happen, you know?
Yeah,
with this girl.
Which does make sense when we find out what's actually going on in this episode. Yeah. So Mulder seems to think that she's a telekinetic. He hasn't quite guessed the plot straight away that she's actually... Now, is she possessed by the ghost of Detective Morris, or is he reincarnated into her? It's quite ambiguous.
So, I'll tell you what, I'll give you my theory at the end when it basically has, in the last 4 minutes that I had to rewind over and over again. I'll explain my theory there. Been thinking about it as I was driving here. There's also a funny scene that Mulder and Scully are walking away, and she's about to go and do the autopsy.
Yeah.
And Mulder says, "Hey, Scully, please just check for electrical burns." And she's like, "Why?" And he's like, now I tried really hard to remember this line. I rewound it over and over again so I could remember it, and I haven't. So I'm gonna misquote it perfectly for you right now. So she's like, "Why, Mulder?" And he's like, "Telekinesis is linked to electrical burns," or something like that. And she's just like,
she's like, "Oh my god, can we have one case that becomes supernatural?" So Detective Fiore goes to meet Detective Felder, who is sort of the boss, bad guy, crooked cop, along with the guy that went out the window. They've been hiding a load of money, which I think it's from like some sort of... they're crooked, basically, and they've been skimming or whatever. They've robbed a drug deal or something like that. They've held this money in a safety deposit box. They said they were going to keep hold of it for 10 years, and then eventually they were going to get it when there's nobody, when things have cooled off. So Felder advises Fior to just, keep cool, keep calm, don't worry, everything's fine, everything's sound, no problem. So Felder goes home on the bus. As he gets off the bus, there's this fucking Secret World of Alex Mack scene where he gets off the bus and his scarf just raises up by itself and attaches itself to the sliding doors of the bus, and it throttles him to death, and the bus just drags him off down the street while he's choking, basically hangs him, lynches him.
Yeah,
I thought this was very funny.
And the bus driver is trying to stop the bus because he can see it in his mirror that this guy's running alongside.
Yeah.
But again, we get some Secret World of Alex Mack shit. And the gas pedal goes down, so it goes even faster. And the bus driver's like, what the fuck? And so I was as this was happening, I was debating, how is he going to die here? Is he going to get strangled or is he going to get dragged to death? And, because that's a bad death to get dragged to death.
I know.
I remember playing Red Dead and just lassoing people and just dragging them off to their death. And it's mental. It's horrible. Yeah. It's the real world history of that is also.
Oh, yeah, I know.
So it's not really to be laughed at, but yeah.
There is one time when it's to be laughed at, though. It's when The Undertaker did it to Hulk Hogan on his motorbike. Not a stunt man. He knocked out the Hulkster, tied him up by his legs, and dragged him down the backstage on his Harley. It was very funny.
That was very funny. And also when the Big Boss Man did it to the Big Show's dad in the coffin.
And the Big Show jumped on the coffin.
Yeah.
Oh God, I fucking love the Big Boss Man. Rest in peace.
I know. I was listening to Wrestling Bios the other day, and he's done a video. I don't know how old it is. It just sort of rolled on on YouTube, and it was he was talking about how mental the Big Boss Man was in the Attitude Era, and it's he was so fucking good. I always loved Boss Man.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
Yeah, he was great. He was absolutely brilliant. So Detective Felder is now dead. He was sort of the ringleader of these crooked cops. So Mulder and Scully put the pieces together and find out that Fior, Barbella, Felder, and Morris all worked closely together in the past. They find out that Fior's wife is actually Morris's ex-wife. So he was her first husband. So when he was murdered, she then married Fiore, who is, spoiler alert, he's one of the murderers. They've been finding little origami animals dotted around the place in the episode, and they find that Fiore's wife, Anita, she has got a collection of origami animals, and she says that her ex-husband used to make them. So that's sort of his calling card.
Yeah. His hobby.
I bet that's really relaxing, isn't it? Man, if you could just sit there and just fold origami animals while you listen to a podcast or something, that'd be really fun.
A few years ago in work, I won't go into detail, but I had to make a lot of origami, and it's not relaxing whatsoever. It's actually very stressful because if you get one fold slightly wrong, the next fold's going to be fucked, and whatever you're making is going to be completely off. And it's really, for me anyway, it's really not relaxing. I imagine if you were naturally good at it and you could just sit around doing it, that would be very cool.
Yeah, so Michelle undergoes hypnosis, and she basically relives the final moments of Detective Morris, and she's screaming, I'm being murdered by a Chinese cartel. It's not them, it's actually...
By a Libyan fighter jet.
Yeah. And there's a mountain lion here as well.
He was flying the jet.
I wonder if we're ever going to see that lion again, and his jet.
I hope so.
Yeah. So Mulder basically comes to the conclusion that this is reincarnation, and also that she is a telekinetic. I've sort of zoned out on this bit, and I've also forgotten as well, because it's been nearly 2 weeks since I've seen the episode. They somehow come across a picture of Static. Yeah, so they somehow come across a picture of Static, which they take to the lab and they clean up. And I'm looking at it now. If you go to the Wikipedia page for Born Again, this X-Files episode, this picture that comes through the Static is the episode, the main picture on the page, and it looks very funny. Okay. It looks like a really funny drawing of a spaceman wearing sunglasses.
So they're filming this session, this hypnotherapy session, and during her freak out, there's a glitch in the recording, and they take it to our man from the beginning of the episode, who is the tech guy. He goes through it, and he goes through it frame by frame. Oh yeah, I've just found that picture. That's quite funny. That is funny. I didn't know what it was. I thought it was. I didn't realize it was a it was a fish tank ornament of like a deep sea diver.
I got that
Yeah,
because
so,
it actually does focus in on the fish tank a bit earlier in the episode. So when I saw that, I was like, oh, I know what it is.
I didn't make that connection. I gotta be honest. But yeah, he goes through pixel by pixel to find this image of what like is flashed upon the screen, and he says that it's not been digitally altered. It's on the tape, you know. So it happened there in the room. Yeah. So there you go.
How do they discover this? Because they can't do an autopsy because they don't exhume the corpse. But they discovered that Detective Morris drowned in salt water, basically.
Oh, God. I remember Scully explaining it, but now I think about it, I can't remember why.
Fucking hell, we're so shit at this on this episode. We don't know fucking anything. Oh, God, I'm really sorry, listeners. This is awful. Next episode will be way better. Yeah, so they find out that Morris drowned in salt water. They come to the conclusion that it was the fish tank in the house because of the ornaments of the deep sea diver. So we get to they rush round to Fury's house and they find that Michelle is there and she's using her telekinetic powers to go all fucking poltergeist on his ass. Yeah, basically the cops were crooked. They stole a large amount of money and they were gonna spend it. They killed Morris to cover things up. I'm so lost.
Right, I'll go through it.
Go on, take us through it
in the best way possible. So there were the 4 cops, dodgy cops. They got involved with the triads, during which they stole the money from. It. I mean, it's not explained, but we can just put together the pieces. So they probably infiltrated this gang. During that, they stole a shit ton of money, probably around $2,000, because the other guy says earlier, you'll get over $1 million. Sorry, $2 million, because you'll get over $1 million. $2,000, well worth it. But yeah, he says you'll get over $1 million to yourself. So I'm guessing they got about $2 mil, so they were going to have $250,000 each. Anyway, during this, the cop who with the mustache didn't want to do it because he didn't want to be dirty. He was a good guy, and they killed him for it. The 3 remaining dudes, one of them, the cop that you mentioned before, went on to become an insurance guy, insurance salesman who died through the bus. The guy at the beginning also died because of the psychic girl, and now we have this one cop left who the girl is going after.
And she's either possessed or is the reincarnation of the mustache cop, Detective Morris.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah. They all arrive at the house and they're all in the living room, and she starts using her psychic poltergeist powers too. She's basically going to kill Detective Fiore. Mulder and Scully plead with her, don't do it. The whole room just gets if you're on your old computer and it just blue screen of deaths. If you were on it in the dark, yeah. When you're a teenager and you're downstairs having a wank while everyone's in bed, and it just lights up the entire room in this blue light. It's fucking.
I know who killed me blue.
Oh, no, I didn't even think of that. The killer was a piano teacher.
I do like this scene though because it is reminiscent of the poltergeist, with the little girl and all the things happening. But there's one bit where the cop's crouched over, protecting himself.
Yeah.
And this fucking vase just flies at him and smashes on his head. And it he no-sells it, but it just looks so comical. The stuntman probably just got one of those fake glass things, like a sugar glass bottle or something, whatever it is. Just launched at his head, and he's just it was very funny.
It's very reminiscent of the end of Shadows, this one, when Mulder and the girl and the guy are all in that office and everything's just going absolutely mental. Yeah. It's
hurricane room.
Yeah. So basically the light is about to kill everybody, and then it doesn't. It just fades away and everybody is fine. The fish tank does explode though.
It's because he admits it. So this tells me that she wasn't reincarnated. She was just his spirit latched onto her and possessed her more so than a reincarnation. And as soon as it got justice from killing them and getting him to admit it, that it became free. A bit like Ghost again.
It's exactly like Shadows, isn't it? It's the same plot, that it's a ghost coming back from the... That's probably why I didn't like it so much. I just thought, oh God, another ghost. Revengeful ghost episode. I thought we've already had one of these and it wasn't great. And this one was... Yeah. And also his wife pleads, don't hurt him, let's get him charged. So Fiore goes to jail. He's the only one of the crew to receive justice. I mean, well, I suppose all the others are dead. Michelle recovers and goes on to become a normal girl. I am so sorry for the Wikipedia read on that one.
It's okay. I mean, it wasn't a great episode. So actually, before we do move on though, there's one cool bit in that final scene where the wife is in the bedroom and the ghost, demon, spirit, whatever, locks her in.
Yeah.
And then carries on trying to get the other guy. So I thought that was good because it shows that it's protecting her and it knows that she's good.
Yeah.
And it doesn't want her to get hurt within this crazy, violent scene of telekinesis.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean. I mean, it was okay. It was just so by the book. And I think if Shadows hadn't been an episode, I would have enjoyed this a lot more.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, it was very similar, wasn't it?
It was very similar. And again, we've said that we weren't really big fans of ghost stuff, so yeah, I think I rank this one quite low. I think it's quite a low episode for me.
Yeah, I would say I'd give it about a 5 out of 10. I would say it's medium low.
Yeah,
I'd say medium rare. I like the New York setting, even though it definitely wasn't shot in New York. I love the New York cops and the New York accents and stuff. I really love stuff like that, and I still love the aesthetic of it, and it's still very pleasing to me to watch, even though I didn't really like the story that much.
Yeah.
So it's still watchable. I wouldn't recommend it to a first time watcher.
No, not at all. It's very basic and just we've had some banging episodes, and then this was just, it felt really flat.
I mean, this late into the season as well.
Yeah. Especially after Tombs, because Tombs was really great.
Actually, I was going to say, like, maybe it was shot out of order and they put it where they could, but Janice at the beginning mentions Tombs, so it's definitely meant to be set
she does.
after.
Yeah, of course she does.
She heard about them on the Tombs case, which is a nice little callback as well.
Yeah, I did like that. Yeah.
X-Files does it again with the child actors. So this is the third prominent child actor in an episode.
Yeah,
that absolutely fucking nails it because she's really good. That little girl, and getting a good child actor is notoriously difficult for studios and film producers and stuff, as we know.
Yeah.
Star Wars Episode 1.
and
that enemy of the pot.
And that episode Fire with that Prince William, Prince Harry little boys. They were terrible.
Yeah. But I mean, Conduit had the kid. He was awesome. He's going to appear in another episode.
Yeah.
And the episode with the twins, they were fucking great as well. You know?
They were really good.
So X-Files does have a good history so far with casting pretty good child actors. So props to that little girl.
I can't fault a lot of the acting. I think where the X-Files falls down a lot of the time is the writing. Some of the episodes are just quite bland and by the book. You know, you don't when it's good and you've got Mulder and Scully bouncing off each other, it's very good. But then again, there was not really anything between them in this episode. This could have been like an episode of like a supernatural episode of Special Victims Unit or something like that. It could have been it could have been Christopher Maloney and Marsha Hartingay or whatever her name is.
Yeah, it wasn't very X-Filesy. There was you just nailed it. Yeah, considering we've not done great with this episode, I think our analysis of it is pretty good. You know, I think we're nailing it with this.
Yeah, I've got the feelings that I remember thinking about it. Yeah, but again, like going through it step by step was just a blank to me. But yeah,
I wouldn't say it's even as bad as like Space, though. You know,
no, it's not as bad as Space
or like the Jersey Devil, but it's not that bad. But it's again, we've just seen it before, so that's the last I'm gonna say.
Have you got any trivia for us?
Yeah. Okay, David Duchovny has openly stated that he hates this episode.
Me too, David. Me too.
Dan does as well. Gillian Anderson was pregnant with her first child in the latter stages of season 1. This is probably the first episode in which it's fairly obvious that she's expecting, with a pronounced use of trench coats to cover up her baby bump. Now, saying that, Scully's outfits in this episode are fucking fire. Like, her first one, she's got like a trench coat and like I can't even remember what it was underneath, but she looked really good. And then later on as well, she looks great. Yeah, good costume design. Good words, Paul. Maggie Wheeler and David Duchovny previously dated. Oh my God.
Wow.
David Duchovny and Maggie Wheeler were both born on August the 7th, but he is 1 year senior. Guest star Brian Markinson would appear again in the series in the season 5 episode Folie à Deux.
Yeah.
1988.
They're using the Joker sequel.
Fuck it. Detective Lazard mentions that she heard about Mulder and Scully thanks to their work on the Tombs case in Tombs. We've already mentioned that. Guest actresses Mimi Lieber and Maggie Wheeler would both go on to make noteworthy appearances in Friends. Lieber as one of Joey's 7 sisters, and Wheeler in the recurring role of Chandler's whiny, sometimes girlfriend, Janice. There you go. That's the trivia, Dan. The last bit of trivia is this episode is set in Buffalo, New York, and that's not trivia, that's bollocks.
That's stated in writing at the start of the episode.
I know. I'll tell you what, just for a giggle, I'll have a look at what the rating is on that one, because people like to downvote these bits of trivia, don't they? 15 people downvoted that piece of trivia. And 8 people upvoted it, meaning that someone's watched that episode and gone, fuck, where was that episode set? And he's gone have a look.
Maybe somebody's written some trivia about it.
And that is the trivia of the week.
Okay. So, Paul, have you got a spooky story for us this week?
Yes, Dan, I fucking do. Right? So, this is a bit of a long one, and you may have heard it, so don't stop me if you've heard it. This is the true story of the Pollock twins. Have you heard of them?
Are they the twins that went mad and ran into traffic?
Oh, no, they are not. But that's a fucking cool story that we should talk about sometime.
We should have done that for Eve.
That's oh yeah, fucking hell, yeah. Well, yeah, that's a fucking mental story. I would like to talk about that soon. Maybe if we get more twins at some point, we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
So this is the story of the Pollock twins. In 1957, 2 sisters, Joanna Pollock, aged 11 years old, and her younger sister, Jacqueline, 6 years old, were hit and killed by a car in Hexham, England. While walking to church with a friend, the driver was a local woman who was mentally disturbed, had lost her own children, and was reportedly trying to kill herself at the time. It was terrific then. It was a terrible tragedy, and all 3 girls, the sisters and their friend, died on the spot.
Fucking hell.
Parents, John and Florence Pollock, were devastated. John was a devout Catholic, but he also believed strongly in reincarnation, which made him stand out in his religious community. A year later, Florence became pregnant again. Doctors believed she was carrying only 1 baby, and even scans and physical checks supported this. But in October 1958, she gave birth to twin girls, Gillian and Jennifer. There was no history of twins in the family on either side, which already made it rare. From early on, John began to believe that these twins were reincarnated souls of Joanna and Jacqueline. Florence didn't agree at first. In fact, she found it upsetting and told him not to speak about it. But as the girls grew older, strange things started to happen. Jennifer, the younger twin, had 2 unusual birthmarks, one on her wrist that looks like a brown mole, exactly the same place Jacqueline had one, and another one on her forehead in the same spot where Jacqueline had a scar from a fall. As the twins grew to about 3 years old, they started to ask for toys that had belonged to their dead sisters. Toys had been stored in boxes and not talked about much, but the twins identified them by name. For example, they both argued over which doll belonged to which, and it turned out they divided the toys exactly the way Joanna and Jacqueline had before they died. The twins also showed behaviours that matched their sisters. Gillian was more mature and responsible, like Joanna had been. Jennifer was more dependent and fearful, like Jacqueline. The family had moved to a different town after the accident, but when they returned to Hexham for a visit, the twins pointed out landmarks and places they had never been before, including the school their sisters attended and a playground that no longer existed, but had been there during Joanna and Jacqueline's lives. They also had a strong fear of cars. When a car engine started or a car came close, they would cling to each other and say things like, "The car is coming to get us." They also had nightmares about getting hit by a car, even though their parents said they had not told them anything about the accident. A well-known psychiatrist, Dr. Evan Stevenson, that's fucking me, Evan Stevens, from the University of Virginia, came to study them in the early 1960s. He was known for investigating children who claimed to remember past lives. Sounds a bit like Mulder. Dr. Evan Stevenson, I'm fucking adding words here. Dr. Stevenson visited the family multiple times over the years and kept written records of everything. He said the Pollock case was one of the most compelling he had seen because of the physical marks, behavioural traits and memories, especially since the girls were so young and couldn't even have known the details in any normal way. The girls could have heard stories from their parents or older brothers. Children can pick up more than adults think, even when conversations are meant to be private. Father John had a strong belief in reincarnation, so it's possible he shaped the narrative, consciously or unconsciously. He even said he prayed for his daughters to come back. Birthmarks, while strange, are not impossible coincidences. Many people have similar marks in families. Also, memories and behaviour can be influenced by environment and suggestion. Interestingly, as the twins grew older, past the age of that their sisters had died, they seemed to lose the memories of their supported past lives. Dr. Stevenson said this was common in such cases. Most children forget any memories of a past life by the time they're 7 or 8. That's fucking handy, isn't it? The Pollock twins never claimed to be reincarnated themselves. As adults, one of them said she sometimes has visions or dreams of places she had never been, but wasn't sure what to make of it. So in conclusion, the case has no clear answer. Some people see it as very strong evidence of reincarnation. Others believe it can be explained by family influence and coincidence. But many researchers agreed that it's one of the most strangest and most detailed cases out there. And that's the end of the story. I'm sorry that was so long.
No, good. It was good.
Unlike your penis.
Yes, that's true. I don't know. It's a difficult one.
What do you think?
It's a difficult one. I don't know. I do sort of believe in reincarnation.
Do you?
Yeah. But as far as that story goes, I'm not sure, because as soon as it started, I was thinking, it's the dad, it's the father. He's obviously shaping this. Do you know what I mean? And to say that they would have no knowledge of their prior deceased sisters is just stupid. Of course they would. Of course the family would talk about them. They were a huge part of their lives and a massive tragedy. So of course they would know things. So I don't believe that story, but I do have a lot of time for reincarnation.
The dad's already religious. He's devout Catholic, did I say? Think of it this way. I don't want to shit on religion, but people who have religious views often push it onto their children. Then their children grow up thinking that all of these things are real, and it's because of how they've been taught. If he's already pushing religion, which he probably is, then he's going to push his beliefs on reincarnation. It's going to frame a narrative way more than someone who doesn't believe it. I don't think we'd even hear about the story. If the dad didn't believe in it, I don't think it'd be famous. I've heard of this before, and there's more to it as well. There's more coincidences and stuff, but there weren't any in that write-up of the story. But I don't believe in reincarnation, Dan. I've got to be honest. The only one that I believe could be real is that Liam Gallagher is a reincarnation of John Lennon, because he claims it, and
Yeah, but he was alive when John Lennon died, so
I don't want to hear it. Right? I don't want to hear it. I also, sorry, my cat's just scratching his head. I also believe that Snoop Dogg is a reincarnation of Bob Marley, as he claimed to be.
But I'm sure.
And I don't want to.
I'm sure.
I don't want to hear it. Don't want to hear it.
Okay.
Otherwise, reincarnation is bollocks. So, yeah.
Well, we'll agree to disagree. I do have a lot of time for reincarnation. I think this world is more complex, and anyway, I'm not going to get into that.
I think the only way reincarnation could even be a thing is if that we are in a simulation and it's certain character profiles getting copied and pasted by accident.
Yeah, we're respawning,
yeah.
Respawning at the same spot. Yeah, so that was Born Again. I'm going to apologise again for the quality of the X-Files episode, and the quality of our episode as well, because it's all over the place with that one.
We were fine. No one's going to listen anyway, because no one likes this episode. So,
yeah.
Okay. It's got a 7.1 on IMDb, which is well above average. I don't know.
So we will see you next episode for episode 23, Roland, which is our final Monster of the Week episode for the series.
I don't remember this one coming up, but whether it's good or bad, I'll be glad to get it out of the way for some Myth-Arc episodes.
Right, thank you very much for listening. This has been The Dark Talk Files. Goodbye and good night.